Growing up, I was the youngest of 3 children. And whenever you grow up the youngest in a family, a lot of the time you can find yourself copying the things that your older siblings do, which can be a good thing, but sometimes it can get you stabbed. I remember one summer I watched my older brother make his own homemade popsicle by cutting open a Gatorade bottle with a knife. And one night a couple weeks later, whenever my cousins were over, I got the idea that I would make my own popsicle. Instead of a Gatorade, I decided I was going to do it with my favorite soda, which at the time was Big Red. And being an 8-year-old, I was too afraid to use a knife, so I decided that scissors would be a splendid idea. At first, the cutting was really solid. Until one second, the scissors just decided they were going to slip off of the bottle and go straight through my hand. I only sat there for a second before I pulled the scissors out of my hand. And whenever I did it, I swear there was a second where I could see my bone, which was horrifying, but still kind of cool. Pulling the scissors out did create a new problem though, and that was blood. A lot of it. I have no idea how a kid has that much blood in their body. Being a little kid, my solution to this was to go and try to find a band-aid that I could use to cover up the giant bleeding wound in my hand. So I went to the bathroom and knocked on the door so that my cousin would get out and I could get in there and find the first aid kit. It's been a long time since this happened, so I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was probably something like, "Hey, I kinda need a band-aid, please, really quick, thanks." And her response was something along the lines of, "I'm sure it's not even that bad." Of course, she changed her mind as soon as she opened the door and saw the blood everywhere, though. And then she was like, "I'm gonna go wake up your parents." So while I'm in the bathroom rummaging through the first aid kit trying to find a band-aid, she goes to my parents' room and starts banging on their door. Once they wake up, she tells them that I stabbed myself, and they're more confused than anything, I think. After that, my dad came to the bathroom where I was trying to put a band-aid on my hand and said that he was going to wrap it up with gauze instead. It took almost no time for him to wrap it, and I was so excited when he did it because I was like, oh, this means I'm fixed and there's nothing wrong and I can just go about my business like this never happened. But that was, of course, not the case. My mom informed me that we were still going to have to take me to the hospital, and it was at this point that I started to freak out because before this I was completely calm. I just started bawling my little eyes out and I was like, "No, please don't make me go to the hospital. That's where people go to die." Of course, I still got in the car and we drove off to the hospital anyway. When we got there, they did all these little medical tests, where they put the band on your arm and test your blood pressure, and then they hauled me off to the emergency room to get stitches. While I was in there, the doctor informed me that I was very, very, very slightly off from hitting a nerve in my hand that would have made me unable to use my thumb ever again. So I kind of lucked out there. Anyway, the moral of the story is growing up, everybody always tells you never to run with scissors. But I'm here to tell you, don't try cutting open a frozen plastic bottle and accidentally stab yourself through the hand with scissors.